Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, I want you to picture a really grand arrival in Waterdeep. You're just standing on the docks, taking in the pristine pageantry of the City of Splendors.
Oh, it really is a spectacle.
Right. The city is basically rising up the mountain in these impossible white towers and golden spires. You've got waterfalls cascading through terraced stone, and you're waiting on a luxury riverboat, the Kianthar Princess, to dock.
It's all very meticulously staged.
Exactly. The ceremonial pier is dressed in purple and gold silk. You've got civic officials wearing their most, polished public smiles. Ceremonial music is playing over the sound of the harbor.
Right. It's the absolute picture of a society functioning smoothly.
Yeah.
Everything is in its proper, beautiful place.
Yeah, but it's a facade.
It is a very specific kind of civic theater, actually. Waterdeep relies heavily on that projected image of invulnerable wealth and perfect order. They need it to maintain their status on the Sword Coast.
But then the blast hits. Because for our party of adventurers stepping into session 22 of this campaign, that glittering facade just shatters instantly. Oh, it is absolute chaos.
A massive explosion rips through this ceremonial docking platform. We're talking fire, thick black smoke, and splintered wood. It throws those smiling officials right to the ground and slams the ship hard against her moorings.
It's a terrifying scene to walk into.
Totally. And when the smoke finally clears, the harbor is in ruins.
Yeah.
And painted in fresh black across a surviving section of the dock wall is the number 99.
Which completely changes the nature of what just happened.
It really does. So today, we are looking at a single, terrifying question. What happens when the elite's own bureaucratic and financial systems are weaponized against them?
It's a fascinating structural problem.
We are following a trail of blood, explosive powder, and 250,000 gold pieces to find out who is really pulling the strings of Waterdeep's escalating class war.
And, the investigation begins in the immediate aftermath, right before the City Watch can even secure the perimeter.
Yeah, the party is rushing around. Exactly. While the rest of the party is triaging the wounded and using floating discs filled with seawater to douse the flames, Valessa and Santal take a small rowboat out to the epicenter of the wreckage.
And the forensic profile they put together out there on the water is incredibly revealing, honestly.
It really is, because Valessa uses her artificer background to analyze the fragments, right?
Right, and she identifies the remains of an iron-cased smoke powder-shaped charge. But here is the critical detail. It failed.
Which is a huge clue.
Yeah, the iron casing wasn't built correctly to withstand the initial pressure, so instead of directing the blast in a concentrated cone outward toward the Kianthar Princess, the device ruptured early.
So it exploded in a full 360-degree radius.
Exactly, which tells us a great deal about the bomb maker's capabilities.
Well, yeah. A shaped charge requires highly specialized metallurgy. I mean, the kind of precise, almost religious craftsmanship you'd expect from the Gondian engineers up in the Seaward.
Right, you can't just slap it together in an alley.
No, you really can't. This builder clearly understood the theoretical mechanics of directing explosive force, but they just lacked the specialized facilities to actually forge a container strong enough to hold it.
So they were compensating for that lack of tech with street smarts.
Precisely.
Because Valessa and Siantal also found a pitch-soaked, fire-retardant canvas hidden beneath the decking. It was positioned to act as a makeshift backstop to help direct that blast outward.
That is so clever.
And they saw that the wooden struts holding the boarding ramp had been deliberately sawed through beforehand to weaken the structural integrity.
Wow.
Yeah, this wasn't just a bomb tossed in a crowd. This was a calculated, premeditated structural sabotage.
It's the hallmark of an asymmetric conflict, really.
Yeah.
You are looking at a group utilizing utilitarian, street-level engineering to attack high-value targets.
Yeah, a twisted Robin Hood scenario, but with modern sabotage.
Exactly. And this ties directly into the sociology of the 99 movement that we see developing down in the dock ward. If we look at the locals' reactions, there is a stark polarization.
Oh, completely. The dock workers are flat out refusing to speak to anyone associated with that gaudy luxury ship.
Right. And then you have street urchins describing how the 99 leave food, apples and copper coins wrapped in paper for the destitute.
While simultaneously planting high explosives on public docks. It's wild.
It is.
And it's fascinating to look at this strictly from a sociological perspective. Just analyzing their methods without taking any stance on their ideology. You can see how their tactics create this massive moral whiplash in the city.
Oh, absolutely. The city's torn.
Like a fishmonger actually notes that their 99 tag usually appears on buildings where nobles have cheated laborers or where landlords have violently evicted
They're
families.
seen as vigilantes.
Yeah, to a significant portion of the underclass, they're the only active protectors they have. Which begs the question, does the fact that the shaped charge was improperly built suggest the 99 are grassroots amateurs? Or are they just a well-funded group lacking specialized Gondian engineers?
Well, they are weaponizing public sentiment just as effectively as they are weaponizing smoke powder. I mean, even Jarlaxle Baindra observes them with a level of professional respect.
Right, and he's currently hiding in plain sight running that fake show-long theater.
Exactly. He refers to them as, quote, plucky little freedom fighters.
Wow.
And when a legendary draw operative, someone who specializes in exploiting structural weaknesses in rival societies, looks at a local populist movement and sees a highly effective insurgency,
The city authorities should be terrified.
they really should. But, as you pointed out, an insurgency needs supplies, and supplies leave a trail.
Always. So if this bomber is buying high-quality fire-retardant canvas and specialized wick, where are they getting the money?
Right. The materials actually point the investigators toward the logistical network supporting all this violence. The party traces that specific canvas to a grumpy local sailmaker named Rennet Bringlehook.
Oh, Rennet. He confirms he sold the high-grade sailcloth, right?
Yeah, along with 20 feet of water-resistant wick,
Yeah.
which, is crucial for an explosive set over the harbor.
And he sold it to a young woman.
Hmm.
But the payment method is where this entire investigation just flips on its head.
It really does.
Because she didn't pay with a sack of stolen silver. She paid with an official municipal voucher drawn from something called the Osvaldo Memorial Fund.
Which is just bizarre.
Yeah. Which
Well,
sends Santal straight into the Palace of Waterdeep. He has to navigate this massive, crushing, bureaucratic machine just to find the clerk handling the ledger.
a highly stressed man named Joran Thale.
Yes, Joran. And the numbers he reveals are just staggering.
They really are. The scale of the financial backing completely shatters the illusion of a grassroots copper-scraping rebellion.
Totally.
Because this fund was established anonymously 4 years ago, and it started with an initial deposit of 250,000 gold pieces.
Wait, hold on. Let's just think about the physical reality of that for a second.
It's a lot of metal.
250,000 gold pieces. That isn't a chest of pirate treasure you just go and bury in the woods.
No, not at all.
That is literally thousands of pounds of precious metal. You need the municipal banking system just to store it. But this makes absolutely zero sense to me from an operational security standpoint.
How so?
Well, you are funding a Black Ops sabotage mission. You're buying bomb materials.
Yeah.
And you're paying for it using a traceable municipal checking account.
I see what you mean.
And not just that. The clerk says whoever accesses the fund uses a highly conspicuous magical wax seal bearing an elaborate letter O to authorize the vouchers.
Right.
That is terrible OPSEC. I mean, why use a magical wax seal for anonymous rebel funding? Are they trying to get caught, or is someone intentionally leaving a breadcrumb trail?
It seems completely counterintuitive, I'll give you that. But it actually perfectly exploits the blind spots of an overly complex bureaucracy.
Really? How?
Well, in Waterdeep, the bureaucracy is essentially a machine. It doesn't read intent, it only reads authorization. The clerks process thousands of transactions a day.
Ah, so they just don't have the bandwidth.
Exactly. As long as the magical seal authenticates the voucher, Jordan Thale doesn't have the time or the mandate, frankly, to ask why a memorial fund is buying water-resistant wick.
That's wild.
The perpetrator is hiding in plain sight. They're trusting that the sheer volume of municipal red tape will obscure their individual purchases.
And they're hiding behind a very specific name, too. The fund is named after Osvaldo Castellanter.
Right. The eldest son of one of Waterdeep's wealthiest, most prominent noble families.
But the terrifying anomaly here is that Osvaldo is reportedly still alive.
Yes.
The family claims she's currently studying abroad in Neverwinter. So why establish a memorial fund 4 years ago, let it sit completely dormant for 3.5 years, and then 6 months ago suddenly start draining it?
It's highly suspicious.
Right. Draining it for labor payments, bomb materials, and high-end dining.
That is the pivot point of the whole mystery. The money is flowing out of a quote-unquote dead man's fund through the hands of an anti-noble terrorist cell and straight into the local economy.
It's a massive contradiction.
It is. And if we want to understand the architects of this movement, we have to look at where the bulk of those meal vouchers are actually being redeemed.
Which brings the party to the Blushing Mermaid. And I really have to paint the picture of this venue for you because it is wild.
It's quite the establishment.
Yeah, this isn't some crusty tavern down in the dock ward. It's a high-end, hyper-exclusive fest hall built around a massive central heated pool.
The luxury is just off the charts.
Seriously, you
Right.
have actual merfolk servers swimming through the water, carrying magical bags of holding to deliver items to the guests.
And the staff on the floor are completely silent.
Yes, their faces are hidden behind iron masks. I mean, it's like a five-star luxury resort that doubles as a voyeuristic fever dream.
Well, the entire architecture and culture of the Blushing Mermaid is engineered to provide one specific commodity. The one thing, the ultra-wealthy value above all else.
Which is...
Absolute impenetrable anonymity.
And the architect of that anonymity is the owner, Lady Alethine Moonstar. The sources describe her as having this unearthly grace, right? Like she glides rather than walks.
Very intimidating presence.
Definitely. When Santal and Shane attempt to question her about who has been redeeming the Osvaldo Fund vouchers, she doesn't even blink.
She gives them absolutely nothing.
Nothing. She flatly refuses to compromise her guests. Even when the party explicitly warns her that these funds are tied directly to the harbor bombings, she simply does not care about the city's politics, only her inn's reputation.
Because she projects the aura of an untouchable neutral facilitator. She provides a secure vacuum.
Right.
Whatever illicit business her clients conduct within it is entirely their purview, provided they pay her exorbitant rates, of course, and do not draw the city watch to her doors.
But I'm really struggling to read Lady Moonstar here. I mean, is she actively facilitating the 99, or is she just the ultimate neutral party profiting off the criminal underbelly?
It's a tough call.
Because if she is so obsessed with her own security and maintaining this pristine vacuum, why on earth would she risk harboring a terrorist cell that is currently blowing up city infrastructure?
It does seem risky.
That seems like a surefire way to get the masked lords to raid your establishment. So Shane, our rogue, decides he's not taking her deflection for an answer.
Naturally.
Talia casts invisibility on him, and he tails Lady Moonstar up the private stairs through her quarters. He watches her walk down a corridor, past a series of windows, and she just vanishes.
It disappears.
In mid-stride, before she even reaches a door. And then, while Shane is still completely invisible, a spectral face materializes in the air 2 inches from his own.
That part gave me chills.
Right. It just whispers, "Mind my anonymity," before dissolving into mist.
It is a chilling demonstration of magical supremacy. I mean, catching an invisible operative instantly requires incredibly sophisticated abjuration magic and environmental awareness.
She knew exactly where he was.
Exactly. Lady Moonstar chose to issue a warning rather than lethal force, which tells us she views the party as a nuisance, not a legitimate threat.
She's totally unbothered.
But her advanced security measures aren't just limited to the hallways. While Valessa and Talia are lounging in the heated pool trying to blend in, Talia makes a critical discovery beneath the surface.
Yes, the underwater smuggling network.
It perfectly explains exactly why the Blushing Mermaid is untouchable.
So Talia ducks underwater and notices these hidden grated channels built deep into the pool's architecture. She watches a mermaid server swim down, exchange an identical-looking bag of holding with a mysterious fish lurking in the dark depths of the channel, and then swim back up to serve a guest.
As if absolutely nothing happened.
Yeah. The party immediately connects this to Skullport, the subterranean smuggler's haven situated deep beneath Waterdeep. It's basically a submarine smuggling hub.
And the mechanics of this operation are brilliant. By utilizing the merfolk and these subterranean aquatic channels, goods, illicit funds, or dangerous contraband can be moved directly from the criminal underground of Skullport right into the hands of the elite guests.
While they're literally just sipping wine on the surface.
Right. It completely bypasses the city watch, the harbor inspections, and the surface streets. It's a frictionless, high-security logistics network.
But it's not just a smuggling hub, though. It's a leverage machine.
Oh, definitely.
Because later that night, at 2 a.m., the inn initiates a mandatory lights out. Every light in the Blushing Mermaid extinguishes simultaneously.
Total darkness.
Total darkness. The masked staff patrol the halls carrying these eerie, ghostly handheld lights. Shane is deeply paranoid at this point, naturally, and he hears a faint noise in his room.
So what does he do?
He moves the heavy furniture away from the wall, investigates the paneling, and pops open a false wall. It reveals a secret, narrow corridor running directly behind all the guest rooms.
It's the panopticon. The Blushing Mermaid sells the ultimate illusion of privacy, but in reality, Lady Moonstar, or whoever controls those hidden corridors, is engaging in constant, pervasive surveillance of the city's most powerful people.
Which perfectly answers my earlier question about why she isn't afraid of the masked lords raiding her in. She isn't just hoarding gold, she's hoarding the city's darkest secrets behind those walls.
Exactly. Knowledge is power.
Neither the City Watch nor the criminal syndicates dare touch her because she has leverage on everyone, and we know for a fact the 99 are utilizing this space.
Because of Shane's scouting.
Yeah, Shane spent the afternoon eavesdropping in a local gambling hall and uncovered vital intelligence. The rank-and-file members of the 99 are gambling with their own organization's slush fund.
Very sloppy on their part.
Right. And they let slip that their two unknown wealthy leaders are scheduled to hold a secret summit at the Blushing Mermaid later this week.
Which forces us to reevaluate the entire structure of this class war. I mean, think about it. The leaders of a populist, anti-noble insurgency are secretly meeting in the most exclusive, expensive, noble-adjacent panopticon in the city.
Yeah, funding their operations with a $250,000 gold aristocratic slush fund.
The contradictions are piling up, and they all point directly back to the target of the 99's rage.
The Castellanter family.
Exactly.
Which brings us to the dinner party. Because earlier in the day, Jarlaxle Banra pointed out a massive red flag to the group. He noted that about a decade ago, the Castellanter family was on the brink of total financial ruin.
They had over-leveraged themselves completely.
Yeah, lost key investments and were facing the loss of their estate. And then practically overnight, they recovered with a speed and magnitude that defied basic economics.
Suspiciously fast.
Suspiciously fast. So the party manages to secure an invitation to an intimate, formal dinner at the Dernenmold Villa, knowing that Victoro and Amalia Castellanter will be in attendance.
And the psychological tension at this dinner table is suffocating.
Oh, I can only imagine.
Victoro Castellanter puts on a masterclass in high society deflection. He is tall, impossibly charming, and just entirely composed.
Right, he's the picture of grace.
When Santal carefully brings up the violence on the docks in the 99, Victor doesn't even flinch. He delivers these overly polished, perfectly rehearsed monologues about the tragedy of the lower classes, his family's philanthropic efforts, and their generous donations to the dock ward.
He plays the role of the bewildered, benevolent philanthropist flawlessly.
He really does.
But his wife, Amalia, is the complete opposite. She just sits there for hours with this sour, tight expression, barely touching her food, barely acknowledging the conversation.
Until she finally speaks.
Right, until suddenly, out of nowhere, she shows a very specific, pointed interest in Santal's warlock patron. She locks eyes with Santal and intensely questions whether their magical patron is infernal in nature.
Which is wild. That sudden, laser-focused curiosity completely shatters the polite veneer of the evening.
I mean, in the context of Waterdeep's nobility, asking about a warlock's patron is already a huge breach of etiquette, right?
Exactly. But asking specifically about an infernal pact, that isn't just idle curiosity. That is the paranoia of someone who knows exactly what it means to owe a debt to the hells.
Let's connect the dots here, out loud for the listener, because the picture it forms is just horrifying. We have a miraculous, impossible financial recovery 10 years ago that saved their noble status.
Okay.
A hyperfixation on the mechanics of infernal magic and devilish pacts.
So.
And an eldest son, Osvaldo, whose quote-unquote memorial fund was quietly established 4 years ago, even though they publicly insist he is alive and well, studying herbology in a different city.
Doesn't add up.
You don't get unlimited wealth for free in this universe. This reeks of a literal deal with the devil. They traded something or someone for that gold.
The evidence overwhelmingly suggests the Castellanter fortune is built on an infernal bargain. In the hells, the most valuable currency is not gold.
It's souls.
It is souls. And the climax of the dinner party provides the most chilling confirmation of this theory. At the end of the night, while everyone is still gathered, Valessa discreetly casts Sending, targeting Osvaldo Castellanter in Neverwinter.
But the spell completely fails to connect. Valessa reaches out across the magical weave and she gets absolutely nothing back. Dead silence.
Void.
She telepathically whispers to the rest of the party that the connection is void, which means Osvaldo Castellanter is not studying in Neverwinter. He is dead.
Or, well, more accurately, his soul is no longer accessible on the mortal plane. A sending spell only fails completely if the target is dead, on a different plane of existence that blocks the connection, or no longer possesses a soul in the traditional sense.
Right.
The Castellanters are lying to the city and likely maintaining a desperate fiction for themselves about the ultimate fate of their eldest child.
So we really have to look at the architecture of this entire mystery because the way these two sessions intertwine is just brilliant.
It's beautifully complex.
You have the investigators navigating the absolute highest echelons of Waterdeep society, formal dinners at the Durnenbold Villa, and the lowest depths of its criminal underbelly on the smoldering docks. But they are inextricably linked.
They're two sides of the same coin.
Exactly. You have the 99, a populist group waging violent street-level sabotage, leaving bread for the starving and shaped charges for the rich.
Right.
They are funding this war using a 250,000 gold municipal slush fund named after a dead noble heir.
Yes.
They are laundering this money and receiving contraband through the Blushing Mermaid, a high-end luxury inn that functions as a submarine smuggling hub and a voyeuristic surveillance machine.
It's a massive web.
And every single piece of this apparatus is aimed squarely at destroying the Castellanter family, who are sitting on top of a mountain of gold acquired through a dark, infernal pact.
It really highlights the ultimate irony of Waterdeep. The elite build these massive, complex systems, magical banking ledgers, untraceable smuggling routes, impenetrable social facades, all to protect themselves from the masses.
But those exact same systems are now being utilized to dismantle them.
Exactly.
It leaves you wondering who the real monsters are. But I want to leave you with a brand new thread to pull on, something to mull over on your own before our next deep dive.
Oh, this should be good.
Well, think about it. We know the 99 are led by two unknown wealthy individuals meeting in secret at the Blushing Mermaid. We know whoever is funding them has access to Osvaldo Castellanter's personal memorial seal.
Right.
And we know Osvaldo sending Ping returned dead silence, implying his soul was the price of his parents' financial recovery a decade ago. But what if the two unknown wealthy leaders of the 99 aren't actually enemies of the elite?
Wait, what are you saying?
What if Osvaldo isn't just resting in peace? What if his soul belongs to the Hells, and from the shadows of that dark plane, he is secretly the benefactor of his own memorial fund?
Oh, wow.
What if the murdered son is the one bankrolling a terrorist cell, using his parents' own infernal blood money to tear down their empire and exact his revenge for whatever bargain they made a decade ago?
That is a horrifying deduction, but mechanically and narratively, it aligns with every single piece of evidence we've uncovered. It completely transforms a story about political class warfare into a deeply intimate, supernatural tragedy. A son destroying his parents for the sins of their past.
Always keep questioning the motives of those in power, especially when the picture looks a little too perfect. Because as we saw in the docs today, all it takes is one spark to shatter the illusion, and you might just find a bomb waiting beneath the ceremonial pageantry. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. See you next time.